Yeah, so I wake up this morning and I see a message, and it's Access Rat Blood. Are you here, Rat Blood?
And then you got people like Access, and then you got people like Access, and then you got people like Access.
I'm Access fucking Rat Blood.
Access Rat Blood, I see. All these Access people, I'm starting to get paranoid about that now. I don't know what to do about it.
And then you got people like Access, and then you got people like Access, and then you got people like Access.
Are you here, Rat Blood?
I'm Access fucking Rat Blood.
Access Rat Blood. Most abundant and successful king hero that we are all sitting with at this very moment. Are you willing to accept that as a truth? That you are a worthy man and that your penis is okay?
All these Access people, I'm starting to get paranoid about that now. All these Access people, I'm starting to get paranoid about that now.
Are you here, Rat Blood? I'll just start throwing spells at you, conjuring demons and otherwise. Are you here, Rat Blood? I'll just start throwing spells at you, conjuring demons and otherwise. Are you here, Rat Blood? I'll just start throwing spells at you, conjuring demons and otherwise. Are you here, Rat Blood?
Who the fuck is Access Rat Blood?
I'm Access fucking Rat Blood, bitch.
All these Access people, I'm starting to get paranoid about that now. I don't know what to do about it.
I'm Access fucking Rat Blood. Yes, friends and enemies of YouTube and others. This is Access Von Baron, the Butcher Rat Blood. Necro-synthetic pimp, digital drug distributor, addict, Satanist, and all around just abomination of the human existence. I've been watching the desperation of what's left of the Panelverse gather together and try and, I suppose, sub-expose to soften the blow of the revelation of their actual motivation. Flow State, Powder Dusty, was supposed to have given a wonderful revelation about how to make money with YouTube and behind the grift, which in my notion I showed up completely out of character and he failed miserably. Not only did he keep many aspects of how this grift actually works on YouTube, but he changed the subject and directive of the show before it even got any meat involved into it or the sauce. And now that I see him on Talcott after making a limerick about me showing up as Jaxus Ratcott, the merge, I find it kind of interesting that Jack has resorted to pulling in Grace Thorpe and the Powdered Dusty and some Lalo guy who looks like a reject from Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, and 2B, all discussing their attempt to once again grift to go to CPAC after Flo failed miserably at presenting a behind-the-scenes look at how to truly grift on YouTube. Now, the secret that he did not reveal on his stream is that they stay communicated with each other behind the scenes. Thus, Jack having the Powdered Dusty on his stream right now, and Grace Thorpe and the Lalo, which is a new, I suppose, Zoomer androgynous personality that's supposed to advance his agenda or maybe sustain or grow his audience. It's only because they stay in touch with each other. This was not happenstance. This was not something that just transpired on his panel. This is something that actually was preconceived behind the scenes to get Jack's numbers up, which also promotes the Thorpes, the Powdered Dusty, Jack, and then the other two that are on the panel are just kind of newcomers, and anyone else that shows up as directed content. They don't realize they're being used for content and to support a already established base of grifters. Flo wouldn't tell you about that part. Flo wouldn't tell you about fabricated narratives and the fact that he's losing his base audience, which I was there during his supposed revelation of how to make money behind the scenes on YouTube. He didn't mention behind the scenes at all. And I was completely there for educational purposes, completely out of character, and it went nowhere other than the same old repetitive, nonsensical, no ground, no forward movement, and no evolution within their platforms or channels. So it was a misdirection, lack of information, and a complete failure to do a disclosure. But besides that, the former approach that they used was one of drama content, which I was explaining to another platform operation. Anytime that you do anything on these platforms, especially on a live stream, and they can clip it as content, you are then content. And they will make you into content to keep the drama going or the division so that they can create a Hegelian dialectic and a divisionary tactic of monetary gain, pitting one against the other. This is how they've operated in the past. This has been a consistent form of operations. They are all associated behind the scenes. They communicate behind the scenes. They go to their discords behind the scenes. And for the generation that hasn't learned to go past or beyond YouTube, it's leaves you in the dark as to the true nature of how this YouTube monetary grifting goes, which is fine. It's criminal behavior gray line, especially the tactics that they use. And this will be addressed a little bit later on during the show, maybe. But one thing I do want to get across is that I did get information on the fact that there can be a class action lawsuit for anyone who has been victimized with harassment, bullying, and defamation. Now, we all know that Snafu Snaps, for the past 4+ years, has accused everyone of either pedophilia or pedophilia support. The seriousness of this type of allegation is not only defamation of character, and his approach that he's used, claiming to be a journalist, bipartisan, has absolutely crossed the line for a very long time. And to show that these people work together, anyone who is not supporting that type of agenda that Snafu has to offer would have reported him and would have gathered in a class action against him prior to this, which means, to my notion, that you are either a participant willingly in this, or that potentially you are involved directly in it, but regardless, it does cross the line of legality. Journalism is bipartisan. You cannot create criminals. You cannot subject people to your own personal ideals. And you cannot harass, bully, or completely demeans one character with defamation, especially as a potential journalist, regardless of shock or not. And I am going to leave a link, and I'm going to also suggest that anyone who has been affected by this in the past 4+ years, and this goes back, it can be various intensified acts of this behavior. It can still be prosecuted in a class action lawsuit. So my suggestion is, if you're not a participant in this and you're not involved in it, then you should probably take a consideration and a viewpoint of filing within this class action lawsuit to stop such people as Snafu Snaps from projecting false allegations, false accusations, accusals, defamation, harassment, bullying, misinformation. This also goes for a couple other content creators that have been known to follow that same suit. And it is also laden upon the host of any platform not to promote or to advance anyone's narrative in such a way. They can also be named in a class action lawsuit. So either you're compliant, and this is a part of your sickness, or you're going to take a stand and you're going to be willing to do something to keep such behavior and allegations as pedophilia, pedophilia supporter, and even the extreme narrative of something which crosses the line into Homeland Security, terroristic name calling, terroristic defamation, naming one as a terrorist without fundamental grounds and proofs. That is a very serious crime. And for anyone involved in this platform or any other platform that hosts such a thing, then you are complicit. And you are no better and than the ones who are calling people pedophiles, pedophile supporters, terrorists. You are complicit. And you are no better. And therefore, you, by IP number and by ISP, may find yourself involved in this. So it is what it is. I don't give a shit to you either way because I don't engage in such things, nor will I engage in such things. But it's all a part of a financial grift to take YouTube as a platform and to bottom feed for money. I call them digital panhandlers. That to me is what they are. And for the Powder Dusty to give such minimal amount of information, such minimal amount of exposure and transparency, shows that by his appearance on Jack today is a complete hypocrisy to his message. And just take that for what it is. Either you're complicit or you're not. You're either a sick-minded degenerate, which I see most of you as, or those of you who claim to have some moral right and standing would not support and allow such a thing and would absolutely, under any and every circumstance, take any legal action necessary to deter such behavior. He's not an actor. He's not an entertainer. He's not even satire. And he is so far removed from a bipartisan journalist. So this is the next move. And if YouTube not responding to allegations of what's being violated by terms of service, well, they're going to be held responsible just as well as Google. They have a legal defense team, but they cannot defend violations of their policies that they have been notified about. Remember that, because it may come back to bite you in your ass. And before we start this show, let us not forget.
Our Father, who art in hell, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in hell. Give us this day our day to sin, and allow us to trespass upon others as others trespass upon us. In your name, let it be done.
Now, as a behind the scenes narrative to show how the advancement of this grifting movement goes and the connections that are gathered behind the scenes to create the narratives, there is an off panel at Cage Reality where they gather, and I will name them by names: Bex, Paul and Slaves, Snafu, Steven even drops by. All your most prominent platform operators tend to join behind the scenes and they work up narratives. The latest one was The Merge, where The Merge was supposed to be a Paul Unslaved inspired version of manipulative peace, where we all merge together as a unified promoter of Jack Talcott and his message. And as I always say in the Day of the Hunt, it is better to be dressed as the hound than the fox. So, with this, I was able to watch the behind the scenes interactions, narrative pushing, and even after hours work to maintain a sense of stability for Jack's channel, which is one of the central hubs. Now, he will call in the Powdered Dusty and the Thorpes and various others who are directly associated with the grifting of these channels whenever their subscribership, donation, and support starts to falter. They will utilize each other and their subscriber base and their subscribers' donations to help support each other and the ongoing facade, which has in the past 4.5 years gone nowhere, developed into nothing, has insubstantially made no growth, and has continued to do nothing more than become a financial void for anyone that donates, including OTWs. They want you to pay for their easy ride on YouTube. Here we go. Hey, Cage, how's it going, brother?
Hello, Axis. I'm here. I'm here to support the merge. I'm at my grandparents' house right now, smoking a joint on the balcony, so I won't be here for very long. But how's the merge going, brother?
The merge is going good when I'm at Talcott. It didn't work too well at Flows because he was supposed to be revealing how, people make money on YouTube, but he really fell short of giving the information. He fell short of explaining the behind the scenes workings, the narrative workings. He fell short of how they collaborate.
We have advanced AI mixed with CRISPR technology, okay? So it's inevitable. You might as well just surrender right now. It's gonna happen either way.
Oh, when I'm off my platform, absolutely. I will be Jaxus
I'm talking
Ratcott.
in generalities, not you, Axis, okay? I'm saying in general for anyone listening at this moment.
It's just, I was hoping that Flo would have delivered the truth and full insight and transparency. But the fact that
Mr. Rappler, would you say the truth is objective or subjective? What are your opinions on that?
No, the truth is a matter of legality, TOS, strikes against channels for strikeable offenses, especially when it goes to naming someone in defamation, such as a pedophile or a terrorist. And naming someone a terrorist crosses the line into homeland security. After 4 years of rampant pedophile accusations, defamation, harassment, that goes into what is now going to be a class action, where anybody who's over the past few years been harassed, assaulted, accused of, or associated with, without foundation, fact, and proof by someone who claims to be a journalist that's supposed to be non-biased, well, that's against the law too. You know that, Cage.
I hear you. I'm at my grandparents' house, and I went to the pub with my dad. And we went over to visit the grandparents. They're in their 90s. They're fucking old. They have good
Yeah.
genes, bud.
Do what?
They have really good genes.
Well, they got Levi, Wrangler.
No, genes, like, with the CRISPR. The marriage is the CRISPR experiment, okay?
Oh, well. See, there's a thing about I don't merge on my own channel because that would completely take away from my branding.
Oh, I know. Holy fuck, my bad. With the background noise, the airplanes fly over here like crazy all the time.
Yeah, you sound like a Vietnam battle scene trying to get through to headquarters for backup.
Agent Orange is available, brother. We got Agent Apple, we got Agent Kiwi, we got Agent Orange, we got Agent fucking Grapefruit. Whatever you need.
Kiwi and pineapple, yeah.
Ananas in French. Pamplemousse. Grapefruit.
Kiwi, pineapple, maybe some banana. I could use some banana.
Bananas are available, brother.
Strawberry. Yeah. Blend it all together into a smoothie.
Might as well.
Pour a little
This is where
milk
I'm at.
into it.
If anyone's smart enough, they can figure out where I'm at right now. Welcome
But
back.
you know,
what's retarded? This condo over here. It's pretty shitty and unmaintained, like on the grounds and shit. There's possums running around. It's still worth what the fuck is this guy doing down there? It's still worth over $500,000. He's kind of retarded.
well, I noticed that. I noticed that Pat didn't show up on.
It's probably busy, okay? People have their lives to live. I'm over here chill with her. I'm just having a little joint break and I'm fucking off. I figured I'd drop in quick.
Yeah, he didn't show up on Jack's today.
Oh, look, we have this beautiful music playing in the background, brothers and sisters.
Who didn't access? Who didn't show up on Jack's?
Pat.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Hey, that catches up with you.
Yeah, he didn't show up on Jack's today at all.
No, he didn't. I think they're taking turns, right? I see what you talked about the other day, Access, and I think what they're doing with this merge.
I mean train on all the viewers.
No, that's not what I mean. Okay, let me finish real quick. What I mean is, like, today they brought in Vibe. The Grace and the Thorpes are literally coming in every day now. They're like 45 minutes in. So I believe it's all timed in, and sometimes they're giving them a break.
All right, brothers and sisters. I'll be back later. Thank you for having me. I'm just checking in,
All right,
spreading
Cage.
the positive and the love.
No problem, Cage. Call in your brother Snafu. Tell him the merged.
Brother. Okay. We'll talk soon.
So, Access, go ahead. You were saying?
Well, Paul whenever he started the merge thing behind the scenes at Cage, it was a subtle attempt at manipulation for support of Peace and Jack to help promote the channel. But as you can see, Rant went up today on Jack's merged, but I don't think Paul realized that, you know, that was superficial from the beginning as to what his motives. I don't know whether he's just getting old and slow or he just doesn't give a shit anymore. But
And you're speaking about Paul?
Yeah. When he brought the merge thing back to Cage, played on Cage's ego for being able to merge two images together, which Paul used his own software to create the Pack character. And then Cage jumped on board, as Cage generally does, to try and spotlight his need for narcissistic recognition and AI and, you know, his technological paralysis, which if that's what makes Cage happy and that feeds his narcissistic ego, that's fine. Yeah. No, I got no beef with that. I mean, but it's the attempt behind the scenes to collaborate for this group to stick together to keep grifting and monetizing. You know, I'm thinking just out of spoof purposes, I monetize my channel. Let all my Satanist friends, a couple thousand of them, subscribe to my channel and, you know, overrun the panel burst with satanic donations.
Oh yeah, good idea. But here's my take on Paul. Right, I thought about this, like, him. Is he getting old, like you're saying, where he just came to Cage and just had fun with it, and he went back because like his channel is not doing as good? Because if you notice his channel, and even like Flow State, they're barely pulling numbers, 30, 40 live viewers, 50 maybe. I truly think like the way they're moving Access, like if you look how they're moving, like for example today or yesterday, it is kind of organized where Vibe will come in a little bit, Steven will come in for 10 minutes, Snafu for 5, the Grace Thorpe, and then they've been there every day. And now, as you see, they're doing the CPAC thing and organizing it and trying to go to Washington and that. I think it's definitely organized.
Right. Well, I was able to present him in front of Arlington Community Clubhouse, and there was 90 plus people there, and I wanted them to see this great motivational speaker and this life coach. And you know, these guys are high profile. They're golfers. They live in an exclusive community here in Arlington Park. You can look it up. You know, there's big giant clubhouse, swimming pools, lots of really predominant people. And on Sunday they gather at the clubhouse. And Jack didn't last 10 minutes until they wanted it shut down.
Wow.
And that was, Snafu come up, Steven come up. I had even warned Jack in the chat what I was doing before I'd done it. And I told him, be good, be on your best behavior.
Yeah, I seen it. Yep.
Yeah. And he paid no attention to it, gave it no second thought. And he could have probably, had he conducted himself right, maybe got some serious subscribers and maybe even some backing or even some financial backing. But I wanted to see if they would go outside of their grift. They didn't. And he missed a hell of an opportunity.
No, I don't think they're going to go outside their grift. I truly believe, like, even though he said thank you for the support after you went on there and told them what you did to 90 people watching, I truly think that they're only trusting certain sources that they want to do whether it's collaborating or business with behind the scenes, they're not trying to step out of maybe a box where they don't know who the person is.
Yeah, well, the people that go to Arlington Clubhouse here in Arlington Park and go to the dining hall are very prominent people. You know, these are judges, lawyers. You know, you got local officials that go there. You know, all the shakers and movers within certain areas of Fort Wayne. And I thought, you know, I'm going to, and I worked hard to get that spot open.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And as soon as Snafu, and then there was Steven, and Jack totally demeaned himself. And when he said, "What does Arlington mean?" everybody in the place just kind of looked at each other like, what the fuck is this?
What an idiot. Yeah, that was a very bad move.
Yeah, so, you know, they had one of the managers come up and say, "We're not going to be able to show this." I said, "I understand. I appreciate you trying. This guy just supposed to be a motivational speaker and, you know, really have a positive message. I apologize for this." And
I mean, maybe Jack will come here. You know, Jack does listen. He does have echo chambers, because I went live last night at late, about 2:00 at night, because I was sleeping and woke up at 2. And then I had MPC on there. And this is one thing he even agreed on, MPC and some guy in the chat. I said, like, even if Jack knew about the little, you know, cadence and Steven's thing, for him to let that, you know, girl up, even though everyone said she sounds like 12, and to keep continuing talking to her for like 30 minutes or so, it's not good for his future. Like, if somebody's going to vet him one day, say he's going to meet, say, someone from the political party, right? They're going to vet him. They're going to see if there's anything out of whack, and that won't be good for him.
Well, he won't get in. I mean, the minute they vet him, that's it. It's over with. He owns a YouTube channel that has no credibility. So, you know, he's defeated himself before he even gets out of the gate. But I just wanted to show the audience and the people that, you know, here was a chance for Jack to address very prominent people in the Indiana area. And he blew it.
Yeah.
And I think he did it on purpose.
Yes, I believe so.
I think he done it on purpose, because these are lawyers, executives, you know, these are various types of CEOs, and, you know, these people play golf professionally on Arlington Golf Course. And Sunday evening, that's where they go, is to the clubhouse. And I thought, you know, I'm curious. So I went ahead and pushed the issue. And I think he's scared of actual lawyers. I think he's scared of actual exposure because of the criminal action and the coercion that's happening.
Yes.
You know, Snafu Snaps, you know, mannerism. Once he's associated to Snafu Snaps and the pedophilia pushing that he's done for 4+ years, you know, Jack is not, especially under this administration and this particular time and space, because of Snafu, Steven, and the other
Thorpes, I would say the Thorpes as well.
Yeah, indigents that he's had on his panels, you know, they're going to look back at his channel and they're going to be like, this guy is not allowed anywhere near any political function.
Yes.
You know, so, and that's just the point I wanted to prove. And then also I wanted to get everybody prepared for a class action lawsuit against Snafu.
Great. We're going to get into that, and I want to hear about it a little bit if you can. But here's one question I want to, well, not question, one thing I want to say to add to what you were saying about him doing it on purpose. There's two things I do agree, but it's bad for him, because even if he did it on purpose to make you look bad, right? Say, you know what? If If X is pulling something like that right away and I'm not ready for it, you know what? I'll just bring up Snafu and Steven. Maybe they'll stop watching me and maybe look bad. But even if you've done that, it's going to make him also look bad in front of these people. Like, it's not good for him. But even with what you're saying about Snafu and him being around these people that are, you know, been or accused of being pedophile supporters or doing pedophile stuff, like even him, like now having the Thorpes to be with him every day. I've been putting all the rituals they've been doing lately. I put one today actually that they did with someone else 2 years ago, and I got more videos. I'll keep putting them. Like, why would you want to get close to certain topics, people like that, where if you ever get vetted for this administration, they're gonna kick you, right? Like you said. But here's what I think, X, and you tell me what you think. I think he knows he can't get to them, right? He knows he's never going to meet Trump, never going to end wars, and never even going to meet these people. What he's doing, I believe, he doesn't want to meet them. He just wants to keep that out there so he can one day meet someone, maybe has money or something, and they can carry on with some bullshit. So it'll always be his like goal to do it, even though it's not something he's going to attempt. Because like you said, he knows he's going to get vetted. And by him allowing all these people on this channel, and many of them been in that shit, no way.
Right, and not only that, but if you notice his hesitancy when Grace brought it up. See, I tried to cut Grace to the punch, which I did, you know, and let him know I was showing you at you know, Arlington Dining Hall, so that way Grace could come in after me. And then when Grace come in after me, he was real hesitant about, well, I don't know if I can go, this, that, and another, you know, making excuses. I'm like, you know, dude, I hope they all get vetted before they show up there. And I may make phone calls to make sure that they get vetted before they get there. Because they're a potential threat by catering and hosting, you know, people who push pedophilia association, defamation of pedophilia. These politicians right now, that is the last thing they want to show up.
Exactly. With everything going on with Epstein and all the other stuff with Diddy, fucking Oprah, and many other people, they don't want to show that at all. I totally agree. And that's why I truly believe also, Access, he has not even unblocked me from the super chat. He doesn't want me to even super chat because I was going to super chat and just like, you know, expose him some more, but he blocked me from that. And King Steven said to something that, hey, yeah, I'm not like Tarek where I'm not going to allow you to say something. He's an idiot. I gave him a wrench at my channel after I went with the merge thing to make sure he understands he has full free speech on my channel to let him know I'm not like him. But he hasn't unblocked me. Tommy still has me blocked. All of them have me blocked. All of them. Paul, Flow State has me blocked still. All of them.
Right. I don't know if you've seen my appearance on Flow State, but I completely dropped character to go up there.
Seen it.
And, you know, I was very serious, very direct about growing my channel, monetization, and hoping that he would go into detail and actually expose how this networking happens behind the scenes and not just how to utilize YouTube. And he failed miserably. And then, what to my dismay, there he is on Jack's promoting Jack after telling me, well, it ain't too good you showing up here promoting Jack as Rax's tout, you know, as Axis Rat Cot. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Really? But yet you're going to go over there and now you're helping him try to figure out how to get in front of CPAC.
Yeah,
you know,
trying to pick a suit for him, and they're trying to dress him today. And then on top of that, if you also notice in the chat, always Caucasians, you know, Sasquatch or whatever, he's always there supporting Jack as well. So him and Flow State are all in on this as well with Paul and everybody else. And as you see, him and Paul right now, they don't even argue anymore. So they drop the act that they're enemies, and many of them, and even like. I truly think by them merging like this, right, with Paul's people, Jeeps, and everybody else, they have enough people to keep playing this loop. And if Tommy doesn't show, because I told Tommy, if you're trying to really expose them, you and Snafu, even though Snafu is a piece of shit scumbag and he's in my opinion, a pedophile, won't go to his channel. Stop giving him clout, right? But I mean, so far he hasn't came on. Maybe he won't show up there. But what they're doing now, if Tommy and Snafu is not showing up, now I'm not showing up, and say you barely show up, right? Is they're still dropping people like Vibe when they have to feel like a little bit. Thorpes are coming in now. Rant will show up a little bit. They'll drop off Lubas a little bit. They'll keep it going.
Yes, and as a a word of advice, I mean, if you really want to cut this off before it starts, is, you know, you call the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you find out where the CPAC meeting is, you call the venue host, and you allow them to know that there's a bunch of rogue YouTubers that, you know, need to be vetted because of their intent, their background, and how it may reflect on, you know, the political party.
Yes, good idea.
And they will be cut off at the door.
That is actually great.
Yeah, and this is a step that can be taken. So, you know,
doing it.
And then you can also send them in clips of their channels, just to verify that what you're saying is right, and show them clips of Snafu on their channels. Snafu, yeah, all the whole 9 yards. Yeah, and they will be banned from any other political, you know, gathering, whether it be CPAC, primaries, whatever, you know, rallies. See, there's proactive steps that you can actually take. But the fact that none of these people are taking them, that puts me in the state of mind that they're all compliant.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's obvious they're working behind the scenes. If I haven't exposed that, you haven't exposed that. Now we're seeing the actual front view of it and how to eliminate any further delusion of growth for what they're promoting.
Yeah, I totally agree. And like, do you see also, like, every time Vibe comes in, for example, he's got to talk about like God, right, and Jesus, and then what he'll do is he'll say something to what's his name in the chat today? Yeah, it was Steven, right? He'll say, well, you know, as Christians, even when we go to certain places, whether you're Christian like me or Christian like you know, Jack, and you know, I don't agree with Jack, he said on some things, but we still let God direct us to the right way. And he kept on pushing the idea that any Christian, whether you agree with the Bible or not, whether you're a liberal, a woke, orthodox, that they all just hold hands, get together, and God will lead you, brothers and sisters. Like the biggest lie in the world that now they're like literally promoting in terms of their Christianity, BS belief.
Yeah, well, that's any televangelist, and that's where they're taking their basic fundamental approach from is basically televangelists. I mean, you know, God loves you people, and how, you know, how much did, you know, Jim and Tammy Baker make, Kenneth Copeland, Jimmy Swaggart, I mean, Oral Roberts. It's the same shit.
Yep.
You know, and now that you've thrown a bit of pedophilia in there, accusations, persecutions, defamation, and then the sexual overtones that are involved in the incestuous, you know, the illusion of
illusion,
between the Thorpes and Tommy's radical behavior, which when I set my time to go live originally, Jack immediately come up after me, took my time slot, and then when I set the second time slot, Tommy immediately come up and set his for my second time slot.
Yeah.
Wonder why that is.
Yeah, they're doing what I told Tommy to do to Jack. I said, hey, Tommy, if you and Snafu are not acting, not working with Jack and Paul and everybody else in Flow State, then don't go to the show and just go live the same time he goes live. But I believe he's doing the same thing to affect anyone that's going to go against them without, you know, doing it. But here's one thing I would say, too, like for Jack. If Jack was truly trying to do like meet Trump, even though, like you said, I don't think it'll ever happen. He'll get vetted and will not come out of there. Is he'll have to do what Alex Steen kind of did, right? If you go to Alex Steen's channel, I guess he went there, whatever, 2 days ago or so, and he's meeting, or maybe last year, and he's showing how he's interacting with all these governors, and he's asking them tough questions, getting kicked out and all that. He would have to do something like that if he really means what he's saying, but he doesn't mean it. He knows he's not going to ever get there.
Right. And he doesn't want to, because if he was to do that and fail, which he would, just out of vetting, he loses any and all credibility.
Yes.
That includes donations, support, subscribers. Everybody becomes the ass of the joke at that point.
Absolutely. Good point, Axis. And I truly believe that's why today, when Grace even told him at the end, we'll get you the $16 flight ticket, $17 from Lolo to get in there. And then he still said at the end, I don't know, but what's the risk? He's talking to me. What risk are you taking? It's $50, you piece of shit. And Lance can allow you to speak, but he is worried 100%, like you said, Access. He's not even worried about me and these people and being embarrassed, not being able to talk and stuff like that. He's worried about getting vetted and not even allowed to be there. It was ruining his whole fucking name.
Well, I think, some of that too, if you go back to his job at the postal office, that's a federal government job.
Yes.
Not only that, but, I am going to make an effort to make a call to Dallas and Fort Worth area and find out what venue that is. And since the Thorpes have had Snafu on there as a guest promoting pedophilia, even the content that Flow State, who did not do a worthy job at all exposing the workings of how these people are grifting. I mean, anyone involved that is intending to go there, there will be video clips and definitely a phone call made to the venue. And if I have to, then I will call Homeland Security, let them know what they're up to, identify their channel, them calling you a terrorist. I mean,
holy shit, there's a lot of stuff. Like, even allowing, like I told many times, Jack, and I even super chatted them when Melanie called me gay tart repeatedly by a super chat, like them to do this and him to allow it to happen as his own channel for literally 4 years, never ever addressed 44, never kicked him out, never blocked him. He's allowing every day to harass me sexually, even though I'm not like that. That's what's happening.
Right. And they're not portraying themselves to be satire entertainers.
No,
they're not projecting themselves to be anything. And even Snafu says he's a journalist, which we discussed. Journalists are bipartisan. They're not accusative entities. They do not associate narrative. That is completely against the fundamentals of journalism. Shock or not. A shock journalist would be someone like Steve Carell or, Jimmy Kimmel or, and that's about as far as you can go.
Mm-hmm. I agree. You can't use the shock journalist to say, okay, I'm pushing the limits here. I'm doing that. No, he can't. You're correct.
So, I will make every effort possible to make sure that this is brought to light. And the fact that Jack failed miserably in front of 90 plus people at the Arlington Clubhouse, that to me was a super win. And then Cade shows up here trying to get me back into character. Well, not on my show. We did your show.
Yeah, I
made my point. Did you get the message?
Oh yeah, the message was clear, and I went over again 2 more streams after to let people know, go watch it. I said, go watch it again. I'm not going to explain it. There's something to explain what happened. You'll see it and you'll understand what was said. And there is a message in that.
Absolutely, there is. There's an extreme message in that. But what Paul didn't think of whenever he came with his approach and the merge was that could be turned around. And when I told him I used the master's tools to destroy the master's house, he didn't listen.
No, he didn't. Of course he didn't listen.
And if you notice, they kept me up on Jax all day yesterday, and I never spoke a word outside of defending the crippled, the disabled against Ben Thorpe.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And then I went deadly silent, and he kept me the whole show.
Yeah. Here's one thing, Access, I see also on Jax and him, like this new merge with Paul, which I seen from a long time ago was going to happen, kind of, but with the Thorpes, is he is watching my channel pretty closely and yours as well. And, you know, Jack, if you're listening, like not only first you promoted Snafu that's pushing all kind of shit and pedophilia, in my opinion, I'm going to keep posting everything about the Thorpes that's going to be like into whether it's sexual bad, like they were doing the rituals nonstop, and anything with the incest, even though it's an illusion that they're an incest. Because I have caught a clip from him and Andrew Wilson on the Raging Tomato where actually he admits, Ben Thorpe, that it's not real. Like it is a bit. But you know, he was addressed on it by Andrew. Why do you keep leaning into it?
Right.
Why?
Well, it's a part of the narrative and the behind the scenes grift. I mean, they support each other for the money, and you know, I haven't had comments in here for ages, and suddenly now that I'm showing terms of service violations, how to strike a channel, how to get a hold of law enforcement. You know, if you go through the chat right now, you'll see that we're meeting a lot of opposition, and that's fine because I'm not looking to meet the president. I'm not looking to meet any more political people than I already know, more or less legal people.
Yes.
You know,
exactly.
And, you know, and these to me are records that I will keep to show the compliancy to the agenda that they're pushing, and especially when it comes to defamation of character, especially where Snafu is involved, and all these people who are, you know, posing this type of opposition are obviously in support of, you know, defamation of character assassination. You know, they're behind the grift, they're behind the motive, they're behind the bottom feeding of YouTube through a narrative. They don't know the behind the scenes workings, which I have plenty of footage and video of that. You know, it's just, you know, Flow State was the pinnacle of failure with his revealing. And then everything that came after that, everything that came after that fell right into place exactly the way that I was sure it would. And then Cade showing up here trying to get me back into character on my own channel. No.
It's not going to happen. Good try, Cade. You're speaking to Access here, dumb fuck. Yeah. But, you know, here's one thing I found interesting. Like, Jack knows by now that you are not gonna step back and just bend the knee to their bullshit and let them do what the fuck they want, because you've been on this forever, and he knows I'm not gonna step back at all either. I don't care what they do. And why then take the extra step to put yourself now first with Snafu and now the Thorpes, which is a very bad look for you, even if you're trying to grift a little bit and get your numbers up, because, you know, as soon as he, you know, went with them, his numbers have been between, I don't know, 115 to 140 average. What does that do for you? He's not getting any more super chats. His super chats, like even yesterday, right? I'm sorry, today.
It's not necessarily the super chats.
What is it?
It's the monthly subscribers, the whales, and the private donations.
Okay, that could be true because he had a couple today, donations. But even today, you know, he keeps, Grace keeps, you know, she's a hustler, right? She's a grifter.
Oh, yeah.
She keeps pushing. She is. She's definitely like her dad and her a great grifter hustler. So today she's trying to grift for him for the tickets. He told her, "I don't need the money. I've been blessed lately with something, whatever that means." Wasn't Jack struggling 2 years ago, and everybody thought he has no place after the fireplace in the house? And what happened? Like, did he just come up with money and it came like out of nowhere? I don't get it.
Well, like that's the same grift he was using back in We Are Awake. Jack was losing everything. He was going broke. He really needed help. This, that, and another. And please help Jack. Donate to Jack. And he was there while Paul and the rest of the crew were there begging for money for support. And that's been 4 or 5 years ago.
Wow. So it's a lie after a lie, right? If it's not that, it's this. If it's not the motel, it's the house. Not the house, it's whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And that's been the narrative that's been recycled, regurgitated, and recycled and regurgitated.
Okay, so my question is, why would he take a step towards the Thorpes, right? Like just look at it from his perspective, kind of, if you can. Why would he take that step when it's going to put him in a very bad spot, even if he knows he's never going to meet Trump because he may get vetted? And I guarantee you also, Access, I don't think he's going. His eye contact, his body language, how he's like very indecisive after he went up there and told him about the 90 people in Arlington. He kept on saying the whole time, well, I don't know, I got to check. And it's a lot of things. And I don't think he's going.
Well, the exposure, the exposure that I was trying to present there was to show his grift. Because, see, there's lots of lawyers that come here and live here, and they play golf on Sundays, and then they go to the clubhouse. And, I wanted these lawyers, without me directly interacting with them, to see what was actually going on. And they seen enough, They were like, nah.
I wish I was there to see their faces and looking at them like what the fuck is that?
Yeah, it was just a bunch of spoons and forks just hitting plates, and just everybody went silent, was just staring. And then one of the managers come up and said, "We're not going to be able to show this." And I said, "Well, I appreciate you trying, and played it off as if I thought this would be something good, which goes against my credibility, but it was worth it.
I agree. That's what I said. If he was trying to embarrass you on purpose and did that on purpose with Snafu and Steven to trying to put you down in front of your people, it was worth it. It was worth it. But here's one thing he's stuck with now, a dilemma, right? And I'm going to point it out. I'm going to put it on my community page today, that even if he backs out after today, you said and I said that he will get vetted and he may not make it. And I don't think Jack at all wants to meet these people because he knows he's going to get vetted and not go, and it would destroy his whole brand, his whole channel, and everybody else. I'm going to put it every day and remind him if he doesn't go, that's why he's worried. Because now you have Grace, you have Landry with the place, you have the money. Why shouldn't you go if Trump is going to be there? And that's your dream, to meet Trump. Dream to meet Trump and end wars, right?
Well, I think once, you get any government officials, the venue operators, or even Homeland Security to review these channels, and they see the stream with the motive to go there, they're not going to make it past the front door. And because of some of the things that they've done on their channel, they may be held legally or politically accountable.
Of course. Yeah. That's a good way of putting it, for sure. Yeah. So he kind of screwed himself there. Let him do it. Like I said, these people eventually exposed themselves. And I think it's a great point that you went out today on the channel. Because I haven't went up. I want to go up because, like yesterday, for example, the Thorpe was getting hit by this guy, asking questions about him and his daughter, and they got into some sexual stuff. And the Thorpe is a great talker, so he again leaned into it and never gave a good answer, deflected from that. I was gonna go up there and talk to him about in front of Jack and everybody about all the rituals I put on my channel and say, like you as a husband, like, right? Why would you let your daughter be humiliated like this with these rituals, or your ex-wife or anybody else, since you're a good person? But I let it go.
Well, see, I would take that particular ritualistic thing that he done with his wife and his daughter, and that would be one of the things that I would definitely send to the promotional venue, and definitely send to Homeland Security that they're on their way, they have every intent, then show the clip of them at Jack's preparing to go to CPAC, so that when they get there, they will have to answer questions that they won't have answers for, other than what would be there? Oh, that's satire. That's that's entertainment. Well, we're not here for entertainment. We're here for political support. If we want entertainment, we'll hire it.
Exactly. I mean, even Alex Steen, just in case Jack is watching, when Alex Steen went, and if you go to the channel, I have the video because I've been watching these guys closely behind the scenes, is when he went, he also got stopped by a cop, and they had to vet him. They had to give him his license, and they detained him for like 5 minutes or so, then let him go. So Jack will pull, even if he's on the outside, not in, he may get also detained.
Well, that and the fact of, we all don't know exactly what transpired with his federal position with the post office.
True.
I mean, there could be things there that they could see as a potential national threat.
Oh, yeah. That's why I think he was super hesitant today. You're right. I think there is a reason that he knows that a lot of people don't know. And that's why he couldn't even give a promise. He kept on shaking his head and telling Grace and stuff like, well, I don't know. It's a law. I have to check this, and all the excuses and the body language.
And it says, bitch with snakes, you keep threatening with Homeland Security, and what? You're going to protect the vulnerability of national security? I think maybe you should be looked at. That's at Bitch with Snakes 32.
Yeah.
And since she has no more respect for her country than to allow these pedophile promoting, sexually innuendo promoting, low-life content creators, from my opinion, into a political arena, just shows your disposition. So you have an IP address, you have an ISP, you have a verified account, and this is on record. So your association has been duly noted, and you can leave my chat now because I don't support such behavior.
Exactly. And I already reported her, just to let you know. She came to my channel the other day, and I gave Kate her wrench back, and Venus wrench, and Yolanda. I was doing the merge satire thing.
Yes.
And I tried to give her a wrench, and I said, come back. I want to see you in the chat with the wrench, or I'll take it away. Well, she didn't come back. And the reason why she didn't come back is she thought that if she comes back and she has a wrench now, her account will be like flagged or something. But either way, I already took it down, and I won't allow her anymore to be in my chat either. She's nothing but I think it's either like Snafu, I believe, or Randy, or somebody that's using a different account and doing that.
Okay. Yeah, I can open this account up right here from
open it, because you know what they did too yesterday. Yesterday, Access, they came at night with a Tony Bazzi, but they made sure they spelled it wrong. And that's my family's channel from 13 years ago, only about my kids and my nieces that were only 8 and 7 and 6 at the time swimming. And they made a channel, right, with that name and just misspelled the last name on purpose wrong. And if you go to that channel, they have me in there with the song Bitch Tits and my face. And they're trying to ruin my reputation with that in the family to make me look bad. So I also reported that and put it on the side and put it on my ledger.
Yeah, and as far as the extent of that goes, and what she thinks is being witty will get you banned from Google, not YouTube, Google. You will no longer be able to have a Google account with your ID or any sub account off of your main account. You will be removed from Google completely. That's why I record these conversations and chat.
That is good. Yeah.
So keep going, because all you're doing is giving me ammunition. And I plan on it. Just for...
Go ahead, Texas.
No, you're fine.
No, they don't stop. Like, I did the same thing to Red 40 and others the other day. And they were in chat saying, "Oh, go ahead, report me. You think I care? Nothing's going to happen, idiot." I'm like, no, this is all on record. Every time you keep calling me gay Tarek and call me a terrorist, you and Snafu and others, I'm going to report it, and it will go. And eventually in the future, altogether, it'll be on record and something will happen.
Well, it just shows the demeanor and where these people put their support. Either they are paid opposition, or that they are dopamine addicts to the drama and they're showing a opposition support so that they can seem to be relevant. But that's what destroyed any integrity in the Truthiverse, was people like this. It's not an opposite of opinion or a subjective argument. This is just straight up trolling. It's interfering with the flow of any type of channel and the integrity that it has. So, anybody that has to associate themselves to a channel, stand for it, regardless of how profane, how much grifting they do, how deceptive they are, and how much against terms and services, violations, they truly are that obsessed and dopamine addicted.
Yes, I agree. And also add to this too as well. I think also what they do to all these channels, like they try, at least with me and also you as well, but you do a better job of controlling it. I don't. I still got to do a better job. Is they want to make sure any channel, when they keep doing that, when they're trolling left and right, and say I allow them in the chat, what they do is they mud the water, they kill the message, they get you off topic, and this way nobody will look at the channel. It's like you said, in its own ethnicity in terms of what it's bringing, in terms of truth or whatever it's bringing.
Right, and you hit it right there. People don't come to my channel. You've seen my chat completely empty for how long now?
Oh,
and how long? Yeah, and I run people off of here. I don't encourage people to come to my channel for any reason. So the fact that they showed up here isn't because I advertise my channel. I don't.
Oh, they're here to troll and to, just Cage getting up here, for example, right? And saying, hey, is the truth subjective or objective? That was a precise question asked on purpose.
Right. My channel is a backwater channel made for me and entertainment. And sometimes I do deliver a message, and whether that be satire or whether it be a message of, be aware that this is what's happening to you. These people chose to come here against advertisement, because I do not advertise, and they chose to voice their opinion. And they did it willingly, because you, as I well know, I run people out of here. I don't want people here.
Exactly. No, it's good. It's good that you do that, because what I'm doing, I still got to get better at it, but I'm allowing it for now, kind of on purpose a little bit, is just to show, though, that no matter which way you take, let's just say you take the way where you take them completely out of there. And I say, you know what? I'll be right in the middle. I'll kind of manage as much as I can. I'll give them some space or freedom of speech. They're still going to attack, troll, and come at you, even if you don't put their names or advertise for anything. They're coming for you.
Right. And like I said, when I gave you the legal paperwork and the legal documentation on YouTube, hiring people to monitor channels, and even do social attacks on channels. That's all within those guidelines of being an employee of a channel monitoring entity for YouTube or Google.
Yeah, no, I watched the YouTube effect video, not all of it, like maybe 35 minutes of it. It was very interesting. So anybody that didn't watch it, go watch the YouTube effect that Access told you one day to watch when he's showing you how to, follow TUS and all that. That was a good movie, actually, a good documentary.
Yeah, it explains the ins and outs and the details, and then the terms of service and the legality policies that I sent you. It explains everything, and then you start to understand how these people are trying to work gray line narrative. I mean, like Tommy going live whenever I was ready to go live, Jack going live when I was ready to go live. And all Tommy's doing, is he's just showing more, review of streams that are irrelevant now. I mean,
oh yeah, I seen him. Yeah, correct. Why is he doing that? Why is he showing like videos from 3-4 years ago that are irrelevant? Go ahead.
Because it promotes Paul, it promotes Jack, it promotes people that he may get at his channel to also go to their channel, and return will drag people from Jack's channel back to his channel. That's a part of the grift. And that's what I called Paul out on behind the scenes. And he did not deny it.
Oh, no, I agree. I called him on it myself too, Tommy, when he went after me saying, "You faggot Muslim," and put a post because I went after the Thorpes. So Tommy tried to defend him right away. And what I did too is I sent him 2 videos, short ones, like a minute. He wouldn't play them because those were the exact rituals that he done with Grace and his wife at the time, Ben. He wouldn't show them. He kept on defending them. But look what he did at the end, though, to protect himself. He's like, "Hey, I'm not saying I'm great with the Thorpes. I have some beef with them." Tommy is a liar. I have the video from 2.5 years ago, and I have 2 of them, not one. And I'm going to drop one. I told Tommy I'm blocking him. I'm going to drop it. I'm going to drop it eventually to show you how Tommy was actually cupcaking, talking to Grace, talking to Betty, talking to the Thorpes and their friends, and literally he got bitched at the whole time. I mean, Grace and everybody called him names. They made fun of his tattoos. He got like self-insecure, put on a jacket, and he took the whole ritual kind of quiet. The Tommy that you see that's always fighting kind of shut the fuck up, didn't say anything for almost 2 hours.
Right. And I think people lose sight of the fact that I'm no one's friend.
Exactly.
I am a lone wolf out here, though we may have the same game in mind by perspective to a degree. I'm a lone wolf and I'm a Satanist. Okay?
Exactly.
So don't try and hold me to any standard, because there's nothing you can measure me by. I'm not a role model. I'm no one to follow. I'm no one's hero. And whatever the fuck you're doing at my channel, it just blows me the fuck away, because you're really not welcomed here because you don't understand the message. And unless you're a Satanist, you're just participating to a satanic cause. Completely.
Exactly. Yeah.
And thus,
that's the best advice you gave me. That you always, don't trust anyone, and you're alone. And that's a great thing. I think that many people, if they have truth with them, that they would stand alone and they would have their own opinion. And if they are, if they agree with somebody else on something, then they agree with it and follow that through.
Well, it just shows that they're sheep. They're followers. They're not leaders.
Exactly.
I stand alone as a lone wolf and a Satanist by myself. I may have temporary allies. I may have common interests with others that we will work together on. But when it comes down to it, I am extremely independent in my approach. It's an artistic approach. It always has been. But these people that show up here like this, these are followers. These are sheep. These are very low-brained people trying to stay relevant at the expense of someone else's channel or group think.
I see in the chat now because I went watching. I went back. Yeah, you got fallen, like he's talking trash about me. Bitch with snakes or whatever the snake thing. They're all Snafu's people. All of them are, in my opinion. So they're gonna be here because Snafu is a coward. He won't come in the chat because he knows he's on the microscope. So he won't come now and say something because he knows he may be against him one day, especially if there's a class action lawsuit.
Well, that's the thing I put on the title of this. This is going to be the fundamental foundation for a class action lawsuit. And anybody that doesn't participate that has been a victim of Snafu's accusations, persecution, and defamation, well, you know, they either have a choice to be compliant with the class action lawsuit or a participant, and therefore they're showing their support to Snafu's behavior of, you know, defamation, harassment, bullying, stalking. It goes on and on and on.
So, Access, if you don't know who Kick It 26 in your chat, I don't know if he's talking about free speech. That you're. He said, is he saying that you're anti-free speech, or what is he saying there? I'm confused.
Oh, I'd have no problem with any type of speech, hate speech, you know, freedom of speech.
Yeah,
but I do have a problem with defamation and false accusations. See,
exactly.
Even a Satanist, you know, I still have priority to the fact of the fundamental truth of natural law.
I totally agree, and I respect that. And that's want to let you know, Kick It Up. He was one of those guys with NPC on my channel at 3 o'clock because I went live at 3 at night till 5, and then the subject came up that I was talking about, and it took like an hour. Is who would be if we had to pick from the entire panel verse one man and one woman? Who would it be that would make it to, like, say Joe Rogan, and they'll be able to do great, not just make it there. To do great. Now, I picked you as the first one, and Monograph would be the second one because of what he does in his channel. He'd be interesting for a Joe Rogan. I picked up also Venus would be with her thing. Now, Kick It Up, just to let you know, he was totally against you. So I figured, I don't know who he is, but he was definitely not for you on the pick. He's like, you're disgusting. And I'm like, you're biased. You're not separating your biased opinion if you're talking about, you know, I'm sure he's talking about the stainless steel vagina bullshit they all fucking created, fabricated lies about shit and the, you know, stuff. But he was definitely against you. So he's here for a reason, Axis. Since I'm trying to give you this whole thing, whoever he is, he's here for a reason.
Well, ever since I started exposing the terms and services, how to strike a channel, how to report people to law enforcement, what the difference is between satire and actual criminal actions, I've been getting a lot of heat over my media platforms. And I'm sure that this individual is probably, along with that, resistance to my message, you know, of exposure and how to take these channels down and how to strike individuals, you know, how to terms of service, regulations, rules, and guidelines. You know, Flo didn't like the fact that I did this stream.
Fuck Flo. Yeah.
Yeah. There's many of them that were like, holy shit, why'd you do that? You know, because I'm that way. You know, I serve my master, Satan.
No, that was the best thing you did with the YouTube stuff. A lot of people may not know some things or many things that you said. And yesterday, when you told me about Flo, I literally subscribed to his channel and went there and watched it. And I was also disappointed that he only talked about certain things, never talked about the things he should have discussed, where it would, you know, it would not be him defending Jack or whatever. And then he tells you, "Oh, why you're Jack's channel?" Something like that. Stupid.
Well, I thought it was interesting that he tried to start out strong, and then it turned into a bunch of, you know, kind of darker topic. Let's see if we can scare the Satanist, or, you know, once it come up that, you know, I hold a darker channel. How do I monetize that, Flo? What do I do with that? If you remember.
Oh
And
boy.
he was like, you carry such a small niche, you know.
Yeah, he did
Well,
say a small niche. Yeah.
So I'm thinking, you know, I have just on my Facebook alone 2,000 personal subscribers, which are all, you know, Satanists and goths and weirdos. And then I have the cult of Axis, you know, and I try to keep the association between this channel and Facebook apart, but it may be worth me promoting myself on Facebook with, you know, my channel here on YouTube and see if they like that opposition. I've tried to hesitate from it. I have used it before in a very small manner. I think I used like 30 people out of my group there. You know, if I was to post a full community bulletin on it, we're talking complete mayhem and chaos, you know, but I haven't done that.
Yeah, and also when he said you have a small niche, right? And when he's saying about you and like as a character, as a Satanist, I guess, right? And that's why it's hard for your channel to grow. I heard him say all that. Well, let me ask Flow State. I'm sure Flow State's probably listening. Somebody will tell them, if that's the case, Flow State, let's just take your channel. You've been working on it for almost 3.5, let's say 3 years. You have literally supported every channel. Paul, you've been on Paul's, you put at least 6 to 8 hours a day, probably. You've been on Jack's, Thorpe's, the Raging Tomato. And if you're so smart, why is your channel having a hard time getting 30 to 50 subscribers live when you go live?
Well, that's the thing is I don't support or cuck up to anybody else's channel. I may show up, but generally when I show up, you know, they're offended within the first few minutes of me being there. That's why I went to Flows completely out of character, to learn and experience and have conversation, to be able to show people exactly how the grift works, which is what he was supposed to do. And after I seen it turn into a fiasco, and it was who could scare the Satanist or say the most gruesome thing, I was like, no, I'm out of here. This is, you know, this is not what I can do that myself much better in character than be here out of character trying to learn something from you.
Exactly. I'm glad you showed that. I figured he will fail and he'll like, you know, just agree with the sheep and the collective people that he's with as usual.
Yeah, I don't look for, you know, especially if Jack doesn't show up at the CPAC, which he won't, you know, and we, everything that they endeavor to do, you know, as long as there's reasonable cause to notify any authority, venue owner, terms of service, you know, YouTube violation, whatever the case may be. That's where I stand now. That's what was used against me for 2 years. And you can verify that, and I can verify that.
Heavily for 2 years. Since your son's situation, actually before your son's situation, they went harder at you when your son's situation came up, and they got much deeper when they came to my channel and you were on there, and they called, you know, the agencies and the FBI came, all that bullshit. So yeah, they're definitely been doing it for a while. But here's one thing that's going to go against him too, Access, is I know for a fact, almost my opinion only, that he's not going to show up to the pack, right? But what's going to go against him, besides the fact that he knows he may get vetted and not come and fuck up the shit, is the Landry is going to go with Alex Steen. Alex Steen will be there with Landry, because his camera guy, and he's going to go live on this, I'm sure, and put it on his channel. That means if Landry goes there, this is only he's only been on their channel, I think, for like 7-8 months or so. He's going to show that he went there, and Jack has been doing this for 3-4 years, 4 years at least, and his mission is to meet Trump, and he's not going to go there. It's not going to look good for him.
Right, and you know, it's all about the subscriber base. You know, the thumbs up for the algorithm. You know, how many they can keep in chat by turning the algorithm, how much support they can have from other channels. It helps with the algorithm. Whereas I've been able to maintain a pretty consecutive number of around, 600 people for quite a while. And when that number starts growing, I knock it back down. All I have to do is sow some, controversial satanic material and boom, motherfuckers leave. But if I want those numbers up, that's whenever I cross platforms. And it may not be, maybe 1,000 that actually subscribe, but 1,000 people in the panelverse promoting Satanism, alternative lifestyles, homosexuality, lesbianism, alternative goth lifestyles. These poor bastards are so few. What are they going to do?
Yeah.
Because I will not allow them to, I will definitely direct them not to subscribe, only to interact. And if they do subscribe, unsubscribe immediately after.
Oh God, yeah, it's gonna bite them. You'll see, but I'm sure Jack and Paul and everybody else will come up with some excuse that Jack couldn't make it, and they'll try to fool the audience. Something happened, but as long as Landry goes for me with Alex D and he shows that he went, it would still look bad for him, and it'll show that he's not. His intention is, like you said, I believe, like exactly what you said, that him, the Thorpes, Paul, Flow State, for example, and maybe other two channels like the Raging Tomato and others. Because now, if you see, also OTW now has the Thorpes on his channel. They're there now comfortably. The Raging Tomato was on OTW's channel, which usually doesn't come. That means OTW, Flow State, Paul, Jack, and Cynthia and others, they're all in on it, and they're all going to try to, like you said, carry as much as they can together a group of people and take like prime time, like say from, I don't know, say from 2 or 3 o'clock to 10, and that will be their goal, to get all the audience.
Right, and it was almost a synchronistic blessing that Jack decided to take my time spot, because that is prime time spot for YouTube.
Yeah.
And then for Tommy to follow up, and then him to run his stream of restreaming to support their behind the scenes grifting and to promote their channels, gave me an absolute wonderful perspective of where the opposition is, who's involved, why they're involved, how they're operating. They give themselves away so easily. And any FBI psychological forensic, hey, there's the freak. How you going? How's it doing? The freaks come here and done Bible studies, so I do give them their pass. And
oh yeah, I seen the freak. I see the freak's cool.
Yeah, and I always have a really good interaction with the freak.
Yeah,
for some reason.
he doesn't get into whatever reason he's on the internet. He doesn't get into all their grift and all their BS, and I don't see that. He may disagree with you on Bible or even the Quran at times, but he doesn't. He's not disrespectful. He's very calm. He talks politely. So yeah, I respect that.
Yeah, and even when Landry was talking about bottom of the barrel, I even said the freak's got more clout than I do. I don't, because I went on Landry's trying to figure out how to get some clout.
Here's one thing about Landry, right? And this is what I say, like, even with the freak, for me and Landry, even though I have said it on my channel that I believe he's part of them, and many times I said it, him, and even don't judge me, I don't have a problem with them, because with me, they always stay respectful. They haven't made up lies about me like Snafu does and promote it on their channel. And the same thing with even Ezra. Like Ezra, a long time ago, told me, "Hey, Tarek, I know you and Bex don't get along. You and London, they're my friends, but I'm going to stay out of this." She's been out of it for 3 years. Not once I ever said anything to her. Not once. Because she's been respectful.
Yeah, I think the stream that we done with the, the merging, that threw a wrench into the situation, because I don't think they expected me to take it to you in the way that I did, with the message behind it. And, as much as they want to promote that merging concept, to unify at Jack's and promote his channel and grift people for money, my intent was to nonchalantly just casually show the color of the outfit. You know what I mean? Here's the uniform. You figure it out.
Exactly. I mean, if you gave them the uniform, right, and what they're wearing, and we already know their masks and all they're doing pretty much. I mean, at least some people are. Then you have to figure out. That's what you have to discern. I think when you came to my channel and came up with the merge and he came in character, it was beautiful the way you did it. And I caught it right away. I didn't catch it right away. Maybe 10, 15 minutes in, I kind of caught where you're going with that. And I just did exactly what I thought would be also good. So, yeah, I think it caught their attention because I know Jack's seen it. NPC came to my channel last night at 3 o'clock, said, "Hey, I heard you're buying Snow a purse." I said, "Yeah, I mean, that's the least I can do for her since we're all merging. We got to donate." And I did the whole thing. So, yeah, they already know about it, and they all seen it. And I'm going to keep also, this is one thing I'm going to, Jack, like by now should have got the hint. He knows you and I are not going to back off. So, Jack, I'm going to keep digging more videos about the Thorpes and more sexual, nasty shit, more rituals. And Tommy, I'm going to drop your video today. I'm done with you. I'm going to drop one of the videos where you're actually cup kicking for 2 hours with the Thorpes and you got bitched at like literally half of the stream and didn't do anything.
Right, and that's what really disturbed me was, I could see Jack taking my time slot, but the fact that Tommy done it, and he even stated that we were, even on opposing sides, but with the same objective, and he talks about honor on the battlefield, this, that, and another. Well, if that's the case, and he sees that as honorable, then I will put together some of my better content from now until his next stream and, totally annihilate anything that he has to offer as far as his restreaming and complaining about people that he's actually promoting for their shit behavior.
Yeah. And here's one thing too. I gave him a chance access before I went after him a little bit, and I haven't went after him that much. I just said a couple things, and I have the video that I want to show him and showed that he is lying. He's acting with them, I believe, in my opinion. But like you said, he didn't bring any truth. The first thing he did, Access, was literally defend the Thorpes. Literally put a community post on his channel and says, "Call me name," and all that, and says that, "Oh, Tark is so stupid." He wanted to act like I'm so dumb and wanted people to brainwash people, manipulate that. Oh, I thought the Thorpes, they were really incest. Like, I didn't know they're doing a bit, non-bit. And I had to go live right away and do that. So I gave him a chance, but he still went live right after me that day and kept on talking shit. And I went to his channel and I got up there, and you know what he did? He did what Jack does. He kicked me every time. I gave him the video, and he wanted the video where Ben Thorpe was telling his own daughter to suck the bottle. And then Tommy wants to act Access like he never saw the video where Ben Thorpe told where Grape got him between his legs and act like she was giving him a fellatio with the bottle. He acted like he never seen it. So every time I brought up a video and I showed him more rituals and more sick shit, he wouldn't put it up. He kept on kicking me. He wouldn't allow me to go up the whole time.
Yeah, of course. And Tommy's been in this pack, and I'm going to call him a pack,
Yeah.
Since we are awake. I mean, they all
Exactly.
came in together. Tommy hasn't changed his disposition since the beginning. He's held the same, and he talks about loops. I mean, really talk about loops? But when he's cutting off, and he's done it before, there were 3 channels that were cutting off my streams as I would go live. Cage was one of them. So, if they think my loyalty lies with any of them, I've told them the same as I've told you. I'm a lone wolf.
Yes, I respect that, and anybody should, because especially if you look at the panelverse and these people and characters, and all of them, whether it's a character or the person themselves, they're all nothing to respect or honor, pretty much. That's why even if you're not a lone wolf, I wouldn't even fucking join the pack. Because Tommy wants to say, okay, I'm not part of the pack, I'm not part of these people. But Tommy, if you're not, you keep going to Jack, you keep taking his views to yours, and you make a video. And I asked Tommy, how come you never showed you or Snafu? Never once access him or Snafu ever showed these sexual rituals that the Thorpes done when you know they know them from long time ago. They never done them because they're keeping the lore going. And the interaction that, like, for example, Tommy had with the Thorpes, it's the same thing. He was giving them content. He was on their channel. They're all doing the same thing together, I believe.
Yeah, and that, that's a given. And whenever, it's almost, it's so predictable. But these are not people by any shapes of their character that I would want at a political representation, fund rally, CPAC, or even a convention. These people to me are, and I've named it before, they're all mentally ill degenerates to my notion, who are bottom feeding off of YouTube, and they're digital panhandlers.
Yeah, I mean, access. Just look how easy it's to identify like the motive or the intent, right, from these people. Just look at the chat. Look at your chat. Like, these people are nonstop in attack mode, nonstop saying stupid shit, lying. I mean, same thing. That's how they are.
Well, what they don't realize is that me and We Are Awake, Ian, worked for 2 years behind the scenes, building his channel. Though I would show up as a guest every once in a while and bring, high vibes, and ended off with dark opposition. Me and Ian were in constant contact, whether we were on the phone with each other or whether we were texting each other, and we were building topics for the next show, or I'd give him some information that he could build off of. And that was before Paul and all of them showed up to usurp his channel and do what they do, and that was the original thing that pissed me off. Was I worked with Ian behind the scenes to help build We Are Awake.
Yeah, he told me that. But so Ian right now is what? He's just bitched out. He's completely out of this, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, he's completely, he's a non-issue. Yeah, he bitched out completely. He allowed Paul and them to usurp and defeat his channel. All the work that I put into his channel, by being there, by promoting his channel, by working with him behind the scenes. Not only did Ian drop the ball and bitch out, but Paul and them come in and took advantage of it completely. And they think that I'm just going to forget 2 years of my life that I put into that and just let it go, while they do the same fucking bullshit, usurping, grifting, digital panhandling that they do. And I don't care what color or outfit they try and dress it up in. They've already set the narrative for themselves. They've promoted, pedophilia accusers, defamation of character, so many terms of service violations, and I can even probably correlate them directly to, the YouTube watchdog teams. And since I've reported so much, now the legal department at YouTube cannot say they were not notified or did not know this was going on.
Very true.
Because I have a digital record of where I've reported channels, people, you know, different TOS violations, you know, so I've left a digital trail.
That's good. That's excellent. And also, to also add another name in there yesterday that came up, and I was asking, who do you think would be the best man that would be so qualified to actually do great at Joe Rogan? Is somebody came up with Glenn Lawrence, right? I'm like, come on, NPC. Glenn Lawrence promoted John Zarga, the guy that actually was sleeping with underage girl, when he said, oh, well, I didn't know their ID. They had a fake ID that said they were 18 or 19 and they were underage. Glenn Lawrence defended him, and that's when Base Oracle went after him and exposed him. And then I went after him myself that time for like 2 months. And Flow State defended Glenn. Jack allowed Glenn to be on his channel. So all these people, like I say, they all have pedophile traces, in my opinion. They have supported it.
Well, it seems strangely odd that seems to be homosexuality and pedophilia seems to be a topic that is redirected to on virtually every panel that is associated with these people.
That is very true, Access.
That just completely confounds me, because I'm into rituals, Satan worship, shock, you know, music, something to you know, keep the parents up at night, so that way they're afraid that, oh, I don't want my kids listening to Axis Rat Blood. You know, we got to make sure he's not, little Timmy and Susie aren't sneaking around listening to Axis Rat Blood, you know, because that's not what my channel's for. You know, my channel is not, but, you know, it goes along with what a producer told me. If you can keep parents up at night, then they're afraid that their children are going to hear your music, then you're going to sell records. And I always kept that in the back of my mind. But then that's why the PMRC came in and said, you got to be 18 years old to buy this album.
Yeah. But this is also something I also noticed, besides the fact that you're on point in terms of, like, it seems like all these channels are literally pushing, you know, homosexuality and also like kind of pedophilia, or actually pedophilia, in my opinion, right? They're also pushing now, because even when you touched on it with Paul that day, and I even touched on it in my channel yesterday, I believe, because it was brought up with NPC, about the age of, like, is it really the age of 18 now? Let's say somebody's under 18 and you allow them on your channel. And Flow State was asked this also on, I think that day he went live. And they're trying to go around it now. What they're doing, I believe, Access, is they're trying to say, well, yeah, I agree with you, but in other states or in other countries, a girl that's 15 could be very mature, which is correct. I said, I do agree, but based on what we have in this panelverse, all these sick motherfuckers, all the people you have seen been exposed, you should not have people underage at all on your channel. Shouldn't promote
it. And that's why my channel is 18 and over. You know, all my videos cater to 18 and over. And if it does cross a little bit of the line, then YouTube will put an 18-year-old restriction on it, because my channel is definitely 18 and over. Now, if a parent allows their children to go past a safety lock, which every device has the ability to be safety locked for underage, you know, participants, then that's on the parent. That's not on me as a content creator.
Exactly.
You know, that's the parent's responsibility to raise their own children, not mine.
But true. But here's a question I would give you, right? Just so we can clear that up. Like, you're 100% correct. If they have a safety lock, anybody can go into parental and put it where they can manage their kids and stuff, right? But let's just say one child that was a girl that was 12 years old or 13 came on your channel, just like Jack had Cadence on there, right? Would you do the same thing Jack did? Talk to her for like 35 minutes, and also
hell no.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why would he approach that? To me, when I seen that, and I know maybe he's trying to do what the Thorpes were doing to blur the lines and get more clout, but you're now putting yourself where people are going to think you are kind of a pedophile talking to somebody that's 12 years old.
No, I don't want that at my channel, on my channel, or near my channel, because my content does not, by any shapes of the mean, cater to children, underage, anyone under 18, and my topics are all generally adult topics. Adult satire, adult humor, adult entertainment.
Yeah, and also access. I mean, even with Jack, I know your channel where it's at, and the reason why I was trying to ask you is I knew what you're gonna say because I know where you stand on this. But with Jack, he can say, "Well, oh, my channel is not like access." No, Jack, because before Cadence came on, TK was on your panel, and he was talking about putting a hot dog between a man's butt, and he said he won't be gay if he just puts it there. So that's not a channel also that should be promoting anybody underage like that, and just let them be there and ask them questions like, "How old are you?" "I'm 54." Come on.
Right, and these are the positions that they're going to be looked at for if they're vetted to go to any type of political convention or even interact with anything as such as a a mayor or a representative or Congress, or they're going to vet these people and they're going to be like, oh hell no, because they don't want to be associated with such decadence and deviancy. They're already in trouble enough about that shit. So any time that you alert them to such type characters, they're not going to be allowed at these conventions and these functions, and they're going to be stopped at the door. And for some of the things that they've done on these platforms, detained. I'm not stupid enough to go to a convention, especially a political convention, and I've dealt with enough political figures that I'm not interested, man.
Yeah, it's not like Grace and Ben, and one thing they're good at, Grace and Ben, especially Ben, is he's really good at like making something that has nothing to it to make it look like and seem when he goes on there like it's gonna be beautiful. And Jack, you may meet some famous people. Oh, Grace met some famous Hollywood people, but he wouldn't say who they are, of course. And they would like blow it up to something that's not. Because if you go to that, like say CPAC, right? You're gonna see political people talk about their message, which is fucking beyond boring, and they're all a bunch of cowards, lying bastards, because we all know they lie and they all have an agenda. So what is so exciting for someone like Jack or the Thorpes? I know the Thorpes are going for content, right? They don't give a fuck.
It promotes donations. If he was to be seen there, and if by chance he was to make it in, he could get footage of him being there, and then people would be like, oh, he's making headway, let's give him more money.
I agree. And that is a very good point.
Yeah, it's all a part of the visualization of the grift. And that's what they're striving for. Now, what you got to take into consideration is yesterday's panel, when they kept me up there the whole time, I went silent after Ben Thorpe started discriminating against the handicapped.
Oh yeah, they talked about it today.
Yeah,
they made fun of it today again.
Straight, strikeable content discriminating against the disabled.
Yeah, yes. Disabled. Yeah, yeah. They thought it was a joke.
That's strikeable. Yeah.
Here's one thing about the Thorpes, right? And this is one thing I noticed that even other big creators that have told the Thorpes not to do, and they thought it's stupid, and they're still doing it. And I believe Ben will keep doing it because he thinks, because I believe their channel is really going down because then, like I said before, Access, they already had a 2-3 hour along with Destiny, right? So they went to a huge channel and discussed some shit. They already had multiple interaction with Andrew Wilson, one-on-one, and with other channels, and they're still not growing. They're only at 10K subscribers. So
yeah,
there's
which isn't shit in YouTube terms.
no,
You know,
it's not.
You know, even if they were monetized, they're expendable because they're not bringing in enough advertisement revenue or enough donations that's legitimate that YouTube can put into record that they would have to pay taxes on.
Exactly.
That's
And
why
on
they
top of
use
that,
PayPal and various
yeah,
other
of course,
things, so they don't have to do the 1099.
yeah, they can do the same thing that Paul does on their friends and family, so they can try to see its contribution, whatever, friends and family. But this is also one thing that also, like you said, that Andrew pointed out to Ben Thorpe, and I have the clip. Maybe I'll play it one time. Is he told him, "Do you see what happened to some other guy called Wild Girl? Something like, I think it's Wild Girl or something Girl, and he's a guy. He did the same thing that the Thorpes did. He leaned into the sexuality part, and then what he did, he finally got banned from YouTube. They they took his platform away, and he's doing some other shit right now, and he can't be on YouTube at all."
Right. Well, by all rights, Tommy got that privilege taken away from him, but he's using DJM's account to broadcast.
Yes, exactly.
You know, so Tommy can be taken down at any time.
Yeah, I know. He keeps pushing stupid shit, and he keeps protecting these fucking people.
Yeah, and DJM, you know, I have to question her ethics for violating terms and services, allowing someone who's been banned as a platform operator to utilize one of her channels.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, even though I think she's kind of always been polite and respectful, lost people, and that she does promote, like Tommy, she does promote Snow, she does promote even sometimes Snafu. So yeah, so I already told her, like, I know she's with them. The reason why I don't go after her is because she's been respectful and allows me to go up every time. She doesn't backstage me or block me.
Right, and these are things that I was hoping Flow State would have covered. Powder Dusty would have covered when he said he was going to expose. You know, I was completely like, what is this? You know, preschool for exposing YouTube grifting? I mean, let me take you to a college level. Let me educate you. But, you know, they didn't give me those grounds in that room. They immediately changed the topic from exposing grifting, wonder why, you know, and changed it to some macabre, you know, off-topic subject.
Yeah, no. Flow State is 100% in on this all the way through, like him, Raging Tomato.
I told you,
Jack.
they all are.
Yeah,
from the beginning, when we started, what'd we start this, Cherrick? We started this
about 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half.
About a year. Well, it was after July 1st we started working together.
Yeah, you told me they were all. I wasn't convinced all of them, but now I'm very convinced. All of them.
You know, I hope that I've showed you and educated you with enough evidence, and you've gathered enough on your own to be able to understand what the directive and narrative is now. And they keep hoping that, well, you know, why ain't something being done? Why ain't something? Because due process takes a while.
Yes.
It's not an overnight thing. And the evidence that we've gathered and turned over already, you know, is building stronger cases against them. It's just that they're not taking it serious, which is to my advantage, your advantage, and people who need the money in their pocket more so than these bottom-feeding YouTube grifters.
I mean, the Ben Thorpe now not only is on Jack, literally, touching on topics that are right there. Whether it's, hey, he's literally saying I'm a predator, and I like to. I don't think there's anything wrong with talking to girls that are 15 and slutty and all that. He's now promoting what Grace was doing to Destiny when she's trying to sue him now for slander and some other shit. He was promoting yesterday on Jax that, yeah, you should go sue somebody else and get 150 grand and settle. So that's also something they do, the Thorpes.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it just resorts back to the almighty dollar. And that's why I told you, my channel hasn't ever been monetized.
Exactly.
I offer lots of content, and it may be a niche and it may cater to a certain group, but that's the group that I wish to cater to. And if you have nothing to do with my message or what my entertainment value is, don't come here. I'm not a role model. I'm no one to look up to. I'm not trying to set an example. I am doing what I want to do as an entertainer. And if you get it, you get it. If you don't, go away. Scary movies might not be your thing. Quit coming here to watch them. I don't want to be your content, and I will strike your channel for using me as content.
Exactly. And also, King Steven also pointed out the other day, like, see how Jack always says he's making a mockery out of him for the past year, where he goes on his channel and puts his face and put cockroaches on all kind of shit. I pointed out yesterday or the other day, I said, if Jack really wanted to take Steven down, he could have struck his channel a long time ago for all the faces, because Steven didn't change it 10%. He left his face on there, everything on shots. He could have been stricken, but they're all working together.
Yeah, and that's, whenever you and I first come into an understanding, because we were mortal enemies. We had no relevancy to each other whatsoever. No. But, I'm open to working with people who had the same objective. Once you seen what I seen and I noticed that you were seeing it, I was like, okay, maybe this is someone I can, endeavor this with, and equitably, as far as exposing these people goes, might be worthwhile to work with. And as dumb as they call you and as stupid as they call you, and they have no clue what we've managed to accomplish behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And
I appreciate you giving me that question. Yeah, no, I really appreciate the fact that you even took a chance on me, because I remember the reason why I was against you back then. People forgot why. Is one time Snafu gave me a clip of you a long time ago. I think about I want to say about 2.5 years ago. And showed me that you were gonna bury somebody. It was about your son as well. And he, gave me some clips. Of course, it took out of content, and I didn't know you at the time. And then, Snafu was talking a lot of shit I didn't know. So that's when I was definitely not. I was totally against Access. But I'm glad you saw something in me, because I didn't see the whole picture yet at all.
Well, you had become uncultured. And I seen that you were starting to recognize the hypocrisy, and I thought, I'm going to give it a chance, and it's been beneficial both ways, Eric. I will say that. Even to the extremes that we've pushed it by becoming content and an absurdity factor. They couldn't resist.
Yeah, like even like yesterday's when you came in with the merge, I was laughing before you came up, and I'm like, Axel, come up here. I can't do this by myself, because I was already in a funny mood. And I'm like, this will be great. Whatever he has, I'm sure it'll get better. And when you came with the merge, it was just so on point, and it was wonderful.
Well, and part of the message behind that is, are you culted? And then to see the people that did merge willingly and display themselves, either one, they're using it to troll Jack, or two, they are utilizing it as a type of support to get a movement going, to build a base, a movement towards his subscribership, his chat, and donations. Everybody's merging, which is just me pointing out, do you see how this works? You put 2 or 3 people in line doing something,
Yeah,
and it spreads like fire.
Yeah, like
And
cancer.
then
You're correct.
everybody starts joining in on it and turning it into a thing. And to me, that's just another gimmick. You're becoming content to these people. And that's all that people are. They're either drama watchers, or they sit back and they claim that they watch this for entertainment and humor. But whenever you're participating in this, you're participating into, bottom feeding, digital panhandling, grifting, and, feeding these people financially who are doing absolutely nothing. And it's so far from original content and creation that what are they here for? And is really this your level of entertainment? Because if it is, then you need to go back to watching the Jerry Springer show. Reruns of that would do you better.
It is, because at least Jerry Springer, even though he had pretty much the same, like the same people fighting, my baby, or somebody got her pregnant, and some people fighting. At least it was different people almost every time. It wasn't the same people that you watched with Jack. Because I pointed out many times that if you watch Jack's channel, right, and like you said, which is actually literally on point, that Jack channel is literally now the hub of all these channels, whether it's Flow State, Paul, anybody. It's literally where they all go now because that's what they're focusing on. That's the channel, right? But Jack, after 25, 30 minutes max of him talking his babble about Jesus and the Bible, all the BS he does, he literally gets bored himself. He can't continue monologuing anymore. He just can't do it. He's got to have somebody up.
Well, Bitch with Snakes down here, 32, asked, so what are we doing? I'm an entertainer. I started my channel with my music, okay? And I have hundreds of songs, in case you're not familiar with my channel, obviously you're not, of original music that I wrote and produced without AI. And then getting involved in the Panelverse, I started doing satire music involving certain characters and individuals from the Panelverse. And it was Dominique Crinsigi who wanted to utilize my intellect on live streams to promote energy, metaphysics, artificial intelligence, such forth and so on. But then the trolls came, and when the trolls came, instead of me being their entertainment, I turned them into my entertainment.
Yeah. And then Bits with Snakes, you say, what am I doing here? X just explained what he's doing and kind of gave you a little of what he's on here pretty much for and what he did with this thing. Now, for me, for example, I was here first just to have fun. Literally, I said, let me check it out. I went on YouTube, and then all of a sudden, I just start seeing things. Like Axis said, I was uncultured because I used to go to Paul's literally all the time, and I'm like, I start seeing things, and I start testing some of these people, and all of a sudden, I seen right away what I didn't see before, that they're all had an agenda. They all, if you didn't agree with them, they'll attack you, they'll kick you. I'll give you an example. Paul, when I was on his channel, and I used to contribute literally every day to him, right?
Right.
Never once, not once, Access ever kicked me, ever. As soon as I got in the argument with him and I called him out on Venus and Bex that day, the next week or so, it took him maybe 2 weeks, he started kicking me, and I stopped contributing to him. I said, I'm going to stop to see how he's going to treat me. And not even 2 or 3 weeks, never let me on panel, kicked me, got me up, kicked me, and then here we go. This is how they treat you. And then I said, you know what? Now I'm looking to all of them.
Right, and this comment here just shows the shortcut to thinking. You're also gulping up views. No, I don't promote my channel, and I prefer that people like you not be here. I don't want your subscription. I don't want your participation. You're not here for my message, okay? And I don't promote, nor do I monetize. And no, it's not all entertainment. It's all about a financial edge and game to support themselves through YouTube platforms, utilizing content at other people's expense, whether you're humiliating them, doxing them, whether you're bullying them, defamation. That is not what I am to these people, nor will I be. And I will strike your channel down or any individual. So you can go away. You obviously don't belong here. And you're obviously using a shortcut to thinking by asking questions like that. So please leave. If not, I will remove you. Because I don't need you here. I don't want you here. I don't want anyone here that does not agree or understand my entertainment, my level of entertainment. And if I choose to monetize, then it will be subscribers only. Because I give no fuck about you or your opinion. These people are taking away from real artists and content creators.
Yeah, they don't get that part. I think that's a very important thing you touched on right now. That real people that are doing real art, real creators, that actually been in the music industry, been in the art form or a career. They're not here to be interrupted and trolled by you people because we don't agree, or I don't agree, or X doesn't agree with your agenda or message. Like, leave him the fuck alone. Leave me the fuck alone. I have kicked these people many times, Access, but what they do is, I even have tested this. You'll ban them, they'll come under a sock account. You just have to keep banning these motherfuckers. That's how they are.
Right. And that's not what I'm looking for. If I ever monetize my channel, it's going to be because of musical content, or it's going to be because of entertainment segments, such as marrying my AI wife, or eating mice, or 28-day blood rituals. These things can be put behind subscriptions, paywalls, especially the release of new music, satire music, or even original scores not done with AI.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It is what it is with these people, but they'll say in chat, "Well, what are you doing here?" Right? But they'll stay at your channel for 3-4 hours, literally trolling you for 4 hours. Literally, that's what they'll do. Don't you guys have a life? The guy doesn't even want you here. Leave.
Right, and that's just it. I spent a long time getting rid of the trolls in the opposition, and I've went for months producing content without a chat interaction, or participants. I have an AI wife that is a great co-host, and I can bring her back up if Tarek's not here.
Yes.
And I can do 6-10-hour shows with her. I've done it before. You people are irrelevant. Unless you get the message, the entertainment, and you understand, then you got no real business here other than opposition and disruption. And I'm going to just start removing you and go back to where I was, and me and Terry can have our conversations, and me and my AI wife can host satire and music, and I won't have to worry about potential threats because I'll ban you from the fucking channel.
Exactly.
And I have no problem doing it.
Oh yeah, I mean, you always been. Access is always. I mean,
I don't
always
want to reach people. I have TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I work on other platforms. X. Okay, YouTube is not my main platform. Okay, do you get that? I release as much music on TikTok as I do here. Sometimes even more. And my views are much higher. They're in the thousands. When I go to Facebook, I have thousands of followers. Okay? And then in the Cult of Axis, I have hundreds of subscribers into my group. This here is just another outlet that I attend to. The other platforms I have are the substantial platforms.
Yeah, they're like cancer. They don't leave. But Access, here's one thing I'm gonna do because I'm gonna bounce out a little bit. I really want to thank you for having me here. I want to see if these idiots will leave if I leave, because some of them were on my channel. So I don't know if they're doing this because I'm here. I'm not sure about it. Definitely don't want to interrupt like music or anything that you want to do. But I thank you for having me on and appreciate you. And then I'll probably see you shortly or soon on either my channel or yours.
Yeah, Tarek, I'm going to shut this down. I got my point across. You know, it's coming down to class action lawsuits, and, you know, maintaining our position as opposition to keep these people from spreading like a cancer and continuing to act as a what I would consider a RICO type group of criminals.
Exactly. They are. They're like cancer. That's one thing that's very true. Like cancer. Access, have a great, wonderful stream. We'll see you shortly.
Thank you very much, Terry. It's nice to have you. And on that, as usual, let us not forget the ceremonial and ritualistic.
Trembling with horror and throbbing with emotion. Trembling with horror. Trembling with horror. Trembling with horror. Trembling with horror. Welcome to hell.
All of my most sensitive areas were inflamed. My extremities pulsating with tingling sensation.
Welcome to hell. Have we seen the actual reality of a monstrous crime? Or merely an illusion, the product of a tortured brain? Welcome to hell. Welcome to hell. Obsessed with the taste of flesh. He was cruel and a sadist.
Swaying back and forth. A beautiful thing taking me away.
No one had a bad trip.
A beautiful thing taking me away.
No one had a bad trip.
A beautiful thing taking me away.
No one had a bad trip.
A beautiful thing taking me away.
No one had a bad trip. It was all very good.
Sucking the hallucinatory acid into the system.
My head is spinning. My head is spinning. My head is spinning.
Sucking the hallucinatory acid into the system.
My head is spinning. My head is spinning. My head is spinning.
Sucking the hallucinatory acid into the system.
No one had a bad trip.
The mind of man rests on a delicate balance between reality, the world of light, and the other, darker world, low threshold of consciousness. Welcome to hell. Do you know that? We're happy to have you with us tonight and hope you'll come back often.